Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I wasn't planning on making a video to release today, but I got an email from somebody this morning, and they were asking me some questions about recruitment in the cruise ship industry, which is the same as, effectively it's the same as working on yachts, the recruitment process. And it was quite troubling, the email actually. And I believe that the person who I've spoken to, I've replied to, I believe that person has been scammed. So I don't want to give any names or anything, obviously, but basically this person I spoke to was a gentleman helping out a female who was trying to get a job on a cruise ship through an agency. And the agency that he spoke of, I've never heard of. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but before I worked on yachts, I worked in the cruise line industry for 10 years. So I know this system quite well. And after I got this email, I also spoke to my captain, and I spoke to some other people who were recruited through agencies, because I just wanted to verify that the way I was treated when I was recruited was the same for them. And it was, so that confirmed to me that what I already thought I knew to be true was the same for everybody. Because in different parts of the world, like the Philippines have their own recruitment agency, and all ships that want to recruit someone from the Philippines, they go through this agency. Now, in Europe, it's a little bit different. You can use agencies, but you don't have to necessarily use an agency. The way the process normally happens is you will see a job on a website, maybe an agency. Now, the agency website, and I'm going to show you some examples of this. An agency website will have a job, let's say the job is for a chef. Now, they will have a job advertised on their website, and they'll tell you the name of the cruise line the job is for. If you see a job advertised on a website and there's no information about the job other than chef and some details, then be suspicious, because they will generally tell you it's for princess cruises or it's for carnival cruises or something like that. I'll have details about the job, the contract date, length, like it's 4 months on, 2 months off, or it's 4 months plus minus 1 month, which means it's 4 months, but it could be 5 or it could be 3, and then you get 2 months off. It'll have details about the job, specific details. If it doesn't have that, you know, it's not necessarily a scam, but it's something to make you should think, oh, hang on a minute, but there's not a lot of details here. Generally, this is the process. You will apply for a job. Now, let's just say I've never worked in the industry before. I apply for a job as a chef, right? I'm a chef, but I've never worked on a cruise ship. The agency will put my CV forward to the cruise line, right? If the cruise line likes me, they will say, we want to hire this, they'll say to the agency, we want to hire this guy, so we need to get certain things in place, right? So there'll be a job offer, right? Now, if the ship I'm going to work on goes to the US, then I need a visa. It's called a C1D visa, and what it basically is it's a visa that allows me to transport through the US. To get that visa, I need to go to the US Embassy in the UK. So before I join the vessel, I will get a letter from the agency, and it will say, you know, my name, I'll have my details, like my passport details, and it will say, this person has been offered a job on a cruise ship, and it's going to be this ship, blah, 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 all the details. He needs a C1D visa. I go to the US Embassy with my passport. I go in, I have an appointment, they interview you, and then they take your passport, and then a week later you get your passport through with the visa in it. They give me the visa, right? They put that into my book. Now, I don't pay for that visa. The visa is paid for by the cruise line, so I don't pay for it. So any agency that tells you you need to pay for this up front is bogus, right? You need an employment letter from a cruise line or from a ship or from a yacht to get a visa, a B1, B2 visa, which is a lot of yachting people get. Same thing. That's always the same way. You'll never pay for that visa, and it's all done through the cruise line. That's the first thing. Second thing is the seaman's book, right? We generally all have a seaman's discharge book, it's called, and it's basically a book of history that they stamp every time you go on board. You stamp your book, they write in when you joined, when you left, etc. It's actually not a requirement to have a seaman's book in all positions. Like some people, like I spoke to someone today who said, I don't even have a seaman's book. It's not a requirement. Now, it might be a requirement on the cruise ship that you go to work on, but again, I would join, going back to the scenario, I've been offered this job, I've joined the ship now. The purser on board the cruise ship will apply for my seaman's book and they will take care of everything. They do all of that. I don't pay for it. They send off the seaman's book, I fill out the form, they send it away, and then I get the seaman's book. That is done by the cruise line, and it's all taken care of by them. I don't pay for that book. Again, if an agency says you have to pay for a seaman's book, it's probably bogus. Oh, another thing that you have to do is you have to get a series of you have to do a series of training. It's called the STCW, and basically it's a basic survival course for, if the ship sinks and etc. Basic survival, first aid, firefighting. If they ask you to get those in advance, then that's a possibility. So a few years ago, I needed to join a boat and my certificates were about to expire. So they said to me that I have to renew them before I can join. Now, because I wasn't employed by that boat, I had to pay for them myself, but not through an agency. I just booked myself on those courses and I paid the college that I did the courses at. Now, if my certificate's expired now while I'm employed by a boat, they will pay for those courses because that's part of my renewed training to work on board, right? So they will pay for that. So I don't have to pay for that if I'm employed. But those certificates are a requirement for my position to work on board. So the bottom line is any agency that tells you you need to pay money is bogus. If you are going through a process with an agency and they start asking you for money, then just stop because it's not a good agency and it's most likely not an agency at all. So this particular person was going through an agency for Central and South America, supposedly. I looked at the website and we looked at it. My assistant looked at it and she speaks fluent Spanish. It's all in Spanish, this thing. And I can speak some Spanish. I can speak enough to be able to read it, but she looked at it and we even found that the website wasn't even complete. So there was a web form on there. When we clicked on it, it was asking us to set up the web form. So it wasn't even a fully completed website. The other thing I noticed on there was I had some jobs and none of them had any cruise line listed. It didn't have any dates. It didn't have a contract length, anything like that. It was very basic, generic information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of an actual agency. The agency that, I've used this agency in the past, they're called VShips, and they do a lot of recruitment for the cruise line industry. Okay, so here we are. This is the VShips website. Now, if you want to go to this website, the address is vcrew.com. Now, you can see there's a list of jobs on here. We'll find one for a chef because that was the scenario that I was doing before. Okay, so here's one here. Yeah, we'll go with this one. It says chef de cuisine for Ritz-Carlton Yacht. Now, if you just go back, if you look at every job on here, it tells you Saga, Spirit of Adventure. So it even tells you the name of the vessel that you're going to be working on. So there's an electrotechnical officer for a Saga. That's a cruise line. There's the job. Now the chef one. So this is for chef de cuisine. Now there's some video there they want you to watch. But if you look here, it says it's got an ID number, job ID. It tells you the rank that you'll be, employment type is permanent, the joining date, type of vessel we already know, engine details, blah, blah, blah. And then it tells you here where you're going to work. It gives you some information about the job, what you're going to be doing, all that kind of stuff. So there you go. That's what a proper job application looks like, or a job listing, should I say. Specific details of the vessel and the name of the vessel you're going to be working on. All of the paperwork that you need, the visas, the discharge books and all that stuff, that all comes once you've secured a job already, right? This person that contacted me said that the girl who's applying for the job hasn't even been offered a job yet. She's just going through the process of, the agency's going through the process of preparing her to be able to apply for a job. It doesn't work that way. You can't apply for a seaman's book before you've got a job, because the seaman's book that you apply for depends on the flag state of the ship you're going to work on. So if your ship is from the Bahamas, you'll apply for a Bahamian seaman's book. If your ship is from the Marshall Islands, you apply for a Marshall Islands seaman's book. Now, if you already have a seaman's book, like I've got a British seaman's book because I worked on a British cruise ship when I applied for it, but I was already working on that ship when I applied for that seaman's book. Now, when I go to most boats, I can give them my British seaman's book and that's okay, right? But most of the ships I work on are registered in the Cayman Islands or in a British protectorate. So the British seaman's book is accepted. But like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier in this video, I worked for a ship, I worked for a yacht that re-registered while I worked on board to the Marshall Islands. And as such, I had to apply for a Marshall Islands seaman's book. Anyway, don't get scammed, guys. If you've got any questions about this, then put them below. If you're watching this video because you got scammed, I'd like to hear from you. But guys, be careful. If you're going through a process right now and you're concerned, put a comment below. And but stay safe, guys. Don't give out any money to any agencies. All right, guys. It's a bit of an unusual video because it's something that just happened today. But yeah. But also, I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who subscribed after my last video on Friday, because I got like 300 new subscribers in a day. So that doesn't happen very often, but that's brilliant. And welcome if you're a new subscriber. I appreciate it very much. We're at 89,000 subscribers now, so that's really exciting. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to the 100K very soon. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm waffling now, but take it easy. All right, bye.